Okay, I think that I got this to work. At least I hope. I would hope. Okay, okay, I'm. Yeah, it does say that I'm live. Alright. Um. I'm just gonna check really quick for something. Okay, yeah. That's exactly how I want it to look. Yeah, I didn't want it to be anything too flashy or crazy. Is that the word I want to go with? Alright, well, hold on. I'm gonna mute myself for a moment. Okay, I had to mute for a second there because I needed to be sure I knew what I was doing. But hi. Simple stream for right now because it's something that I don't want to say I promised it, but I've just been. This was planned. I guess that's the right way to phrase it. Um, Not sure how many people are gonna come in here, but I'll try to keep myself busy here. Hello, welcome to everyone. I am terrible with conversation, so I apologize in advance. And I did test everything, so I'm pretty sure that everything is working. I was gonna try to find something to play while chatting, but I am very indecisive and I couldn't figure something out, so I just ended up making it very simple for right now. Maybe another time I can try to play something. I just wore myself out talking right then. Hi, Fiera. Hi. Oh my gosh. It's so good to see you here. How's it going? If anyone wants to say anything as well, like about how your day's going or anything cool that's going on, then feel free. I'm here to listen, read. Sparks! Hey! I'm surprised that my friends are coming in. I don't know why. I get excited over the tiniest of things, but my brain is very scattered right now too. I think that just shows how sleep deprived I am as well. Uh, but yeah, hi Sparks, hi Fiera. Someone enjoys seeing me. Yes, at least I enjoy seeing you. It's not very often, but I still enjoy it. You just got home? What were you doing again? I don't know if you told me. You need money to get a new DR cosplay. Well, I hope you manage to get the money, because I know that cosplaying can get pretty fun. I used to do it a long time ago. Haven't done it in such a long time because after a while it felt kind of redundant and like a chore, but my mind has changed over the past few years, and I feel like if it's just for fun and I'm not trying too hard, then it'll be enjoyable. But tangent aside, I really do hope you can manage to get the money for your cosplay, because that sounds really fun. Alright, I need to take a breath. My social anxiety can get pretty bad while on the spot too. I'm just gonna spit out random things, and it very well could be random, honestly. Nothing much has happened today. Honestly, I was so exhausted that I just needed to step back from everything for the entire day, just binge watch stuff, had to watch my dog for my mom, and had to do some cleaning before this as well, and that took a lot out of me. That's just the typical day in the life stuff. Nothing really else to note. Other than, I think, I did play, Pokemon Black 2, a little earlier as well. Beat the game recently, again, for the first time in such a long time. Wanted to, try to get a lot more done, because I do love the Gen 5 games. As of now, I'm just completing the Pokedex. And I know that I don't know if it's going to be entirely possible for me to finish it, at least definitely on my own, but I know that the dex in that game, it's just tedious. It can get very, very tedious. That's why I never did any of that before. I did do it for the latest games, and I managed to do it in a relatively short amount of time, too. So that's good. For the first time ever, I got a legitimate shiny charm. My tangents. I get very self-conscious sometimes, and I have to overthink everything. I'm just looking around my room at this point, trying to see if I can be inspired. And, I have a collection of just a bunch of plushes, and a majority of them are Pokemon, and they're just everywhere. And I've been collecting them since I think I was about 8 or 9. I might have just turned 9 when I started collecting them. And now I just have a really weird attachment sometimes with any stuffed animals that I get, especially ones that my mom have gotten me over the years. I have one teddy bear that I received on Christmas when I was, I think, maybe 10 or 11. I would like to say I might have just turned 11. And to this day, I still have it because it's kind of like, I guess you can say it's some sort of like safety blanket, even though it's really not a blanket. And another thing is that, she got me, like, this stuffed animal for Valentine's Day as well, and at that time, I don't believe I was living with her, so I still hold on to it, and even back then, I cherished it, and it had, like, this little sound box on the inside. When you squeeze it, it kind of played a little tune. Unfortunately, that sound box does not work anymore, but I still hold on to it. Hold on, let me catch my breath again. I'm talking too much, too fast. If anyone does have any ideas, though, you're working on a new song, but motivation says no. Wait, Fiera, you work on music? I don't know if I've ever heard you mention anything, so I think I'm just asking for clarification, because I overthink. literally everything. So I'm curious though, what's going on with that? Because I know motivation can be a pain in the butt too. It's a struggle with multiple different factors just chipping away at it. What was I gonna say before? Before I just stopped talking. If anyone has any ideas though on what I could do, then let me know. Oh, you write a cappella songs. Oh, I like that, Fiera. That sounds really cool actually. I kinda wish I could do that. Um I'd like to hear at some point what you've got. I know you don't have much right now, but in the future, feel free to let me know. I'd like to listen to that. Anytime acapella's brought up, especially, I think of Pitch Perfect. Granted, I know that's a movie and that it's doesn't portray it accurately, but I hyperfixated on those movies for a very long time, and I still like them. They hold a very sentimental spot to me in my heart, but I haven't watched them repetitively since I think I was in maybe my sophomore year of high school, maybe junior year of high school. That's the thing with me. I hyperfixate sometimes on certain movies or whatnot, and I binge watch it and watch it on repeat over and over again. And after maybe about a month or two, when I'm finally sick of it, I switch to something else and hyperfixate on that. Part of me thinks that that's not completely normal, but then again, I don't really know what would be quote unquote normal. Anyway, I'm very tempted to just boot up Among Us, but I'm not gonna show the screen. I don't know. I'm always so indecisive. I don't know what I want. I do have Overwatch as well, but I am absolute garbage at Overwatch, and I feel like it would just make me anxious. Well, Among Us would too, but eh. Hell yeah. A lot of songs rely a lot on background music, so I prefer to write a cappella songs, and if I do try to put it into video, I usually go with some slight visual effects. Honestly, I'm trying to figure out how to word what I want to say. I swear that I don't think that it's a terrible idea. I'm just really bad with wording on the spot, but that's really cool though. I'm getting myself so flustered because I can't figure out what to say. So I apologize for that. Bear with me a little bit, but I like music. I like all that stuff. I don't know what I'm doing right now. At some point I need another monitor too, and I guess I could at some point get one, but with the size of my room and with the desk right now and mic, just a bunch of different factors, it's just I can't. My room is like a walk-in closet. It's really, really tiny, but because of that, I have a really big struggle with organizing, and now there's just a bunch of storage bins everywhere, and it's just... It takes a lot out of me. It makes me anxious. Wish I knew what to play, though. I was gonna try to find a fan game to play, too. I had a bunch of different ideas, but I just ended up overthinking it so much to the point where I'm like, nah, that ain't it. There's one that I did want to play, but maybe another day I can try to get that sorted. Wait. What was I doing? I was trying to find something on my phone because I would struggle to search it up on my computer right now since I only have a single monitor, but was thinking of playing Danganronpa fan game while I chat, but I don't know, it's just I feel like it's kind of late for me, and once I get started, if I get tired at some point, I'll struggle to figure out where to save. Speaking of that, I need to look into a lot of fan games. I know that there's Eden's Garden, DRA and SDRA2, which those are really popular as it is. I want to play it though, I really do. Well, at least DRA. I'm trying to think. There's also Antebellum, and I really like Antebellum. I know some people, I guess you can say that I'm acquaintances with some of the people that work on it. Mainly the voice team, and they're really talented. They really are. So that's something I do want to maybe play. Possibly when Chapter 3 Deadly Life releases, I'll play it live. Because it would be a raw reaction, unlike with, the other stuff that's been released. I might do that with a bunch of other fan games going forward. I need to learn to just be patient and try to schedule around, hey, when do I want to do this once it's released? And I should have done that probably with the spare time too, just do reactions and whatnot. Because that's one of my favorite things at the moment. Fangame-wise, that is. That's something that I have been such a huge fan of for a long while. I wish there was enough people in here. I would have started some sort of game, but this'll do. I'll just chat here and hope more people just come in and listen to me ramble about silly things, or just ask me some stuff so that I can talk, have conversations, and I'll just sound like complete cringe. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna say that. I know I'm cringe. I can accept that at this point. But for my projects at the moment, because I brought up others before, I am really tackling on getting my first one done, or at least getting a good amount of progress done so that it can actually start. And for my other passion project at the moment, I'm still waiting on some art to get finished, and I'm waiting for some other small things too, and I can't remember if I've made it public what it is yet, so I'm not gonna disclose it at this moment if there isn't enough interest in that, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I did take a step back from that particular project while all that stuff's getting done, because I don't want to burn myself out trying to get stuff done for that project when I can't really do much despite really wanting to. I don't know how much logic there is in that, but I feel like taking a step back for just a little bit, waiting to get some stuff done, or waiting for stuff in general, is the best thing mentally. This is supposed to be something for fun anyway, so I just don't want there to be pressure on anyone else, or myself for that matter. And I still have other stuff to do as well, because, I guess you can say that I'm an amateur voice actress, and I do have stuff that I need to get sent in, and I want to, I really do. Motivation's been one big problem, and another thing is I got a new mic, I think it's been a little over a week now, and I don't know how to adjust the settings for the audio program or whatever it is. So I tried figuring it out on my own, and no matter how much I tried to tweak at it and fix it for myself, it just felt impossible. I had no idea what I was doing. I don't really work with audio really much at all. And I did have to eventually ask for advice because I was kind of desperate at that point. I wanted to get it done. And I do have decent equipment for it. The space is debatable, but what I have currently, it's a lot better than what it was originally. So I really want to get to that. This is one of my first roles that I've actually had an active role in as well. Might be minor in a lot of people's eyes, but I'm really hyped about it. I'm really excited to be a part of stuff like this and meet a bunch of cool people, see what happens. Hopefully one day I can do a bunch of other stuff, voice acting wise too. Not entirely sure if it's gonna be something professional, because I'm thinking long term and I'm just gonna overthink everything with this, but I don't know if it's gonna be something I second guess, because up until I think maybe 2 or so years ago, I never really thought about doing this, but I took steps back from doing this several times, so I oftentimes question my dedication to it. So during those long breaks I would take, I would just focus on writing and drawing, even though I'm not the greatest with art either. I wish I could draw. I pushed myself to do all sorts of artistic things in school and whatnot, but it really did fall flat, and I got super frustrated over it. And I wish it would have went somewhere, but with the community college I went to and the program I was in and whatnot, it ruined it for me. It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, which is unfortunate because I wanted to enjoy it, but I had no idea what I was doing. And then, considering it was the pandemic, it had just started, I couldn't even go in person to get stuff sorted out. I was not happy. I was not having it. But I'm working now, so I'm not in school anymore learning about all those other things. I am working and I'm setting money aside as much as I can. And, doing what I can, helping with my mom with the bills. I guess is that the way I want to say it? I don't know how else I would say it. I overthink everything. This is going back to the Pokemon topic a little bit because I just thought of something, but I'm excited for the DLC. I know a bunch of people had such negative opinions about it. The only thing I guess I would say I'm concerned about in that regard is that it's going to be very laggy or maybe buggy, if that's the way we want to think about it, but I feel like story-wise, it's not going to let anyone down, because with the way the main story already was in the game, it kind of set the bar high. So I do believe that they have something figured out that would go hand in hand with the main story. If that huge fan base, they can't please an entire fan base. It's just not possible. That's just not possible. I can't talk. I'm fumbling over my words. That's another hot topic, too. Just people getting so nitpicky about certain games or whatnot. And I guess this isn't just referring to Pokemon. I guess it's just anything in general, because that's just how people are. That's how fan bases are. And sometimes it gets me incredibly frustrated to the point where I'm like, oh, well, if you have so much to complain about, either stop playing the games or watching whatever you're watching, Or go do something yourself. Go make something yourself if it's something that's bugging you so much. That, I know that sounds very what's the word I'm looking for? I sound kind of aggressive when saying that, but it's hard. It really is. I'm a pretty easy person to please too. It's kind of difficult to let me down in any sort of way like that. So when I see people just bashing on stuff, without having much to back it up, it's unfortunate. As long as it's like constructive criticism, then it's something that I can handle. Because it's not like they're going after the company itself completely. Granted, the companies hardly ever listen at times, but it's just something to think about. Even though I overthink it, and I just did. I went on a long tangent about it. But that's just the typical Sarah rant. Would I even call that a rant? That sounds more like a ramble. Doesn't matter. What else? Trying to... The way I try to figure out topics to talk about, even though there might not be anybody here, it's just... I'm really weird. Alright, I think I might know what to talk about, though it's not the biggest thing to really talk about, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I mentioned, not too long ago that I was just watching stuff pretty much all day, just kind of staying away from social media. Top 10 Pokemon I'd want as a pet. Oh, that's a good question. This is gonna sound kind of strange, and it doesn't really answer the question head on at the moment, but my favorite, type for Pokemon is fire, but I'm also highly terrified of fire, so I don't know if I'd choose a fire type as a pet. I really want to say Charmander because it's my favorite, but at the same time, I'd be very terrified and paranoid all the time. Let's see. What else would I want to have as a pet, though, beside that? I like Baneri. I love Baneri. Stoutland. That's a very sentimental one to my heart, Stoutland. I'm trying to think of what else. I think I'll say Ducklet. I just like ducks. That's kind of an inside joke, but I love Ducklet. Mainly because it's a water type duck Pokemon from Gen 5. Very specific, but I also like Munna. I like a lot of Gen 5 ones. It's hard to put everything on a list. I lost track of how many I've even listed. I guess a good one as well would be, Fido or Fido, however people pronounce it. I call it Fido, and I don't know why, but it just sounds better. Let's see. I feel like I probably listed more than 10 at this point, but the ones I listed are pretty solid, I think. Yeah, My brain is just going blank. I can't think of much else from the top of my head. But if I had to have a top 10, any of the Pokemon I just named seem like viable options for me. Um, so that's that, I believe. Um, Not sure if there are any other questions, but if there isn't, that's cool. I just tend to ramble on and on anyway. So, um, I might just ironically just, or maybe unironically, I don't know. I just really want to play it like at least one round of Among Us and just commentate about it. I might even drop the code in the chat and pin it, but part of me feels like that's such a waste of time. I get so frustrated with myself. I don't know what I want. Um, what else could I talk about though? This is on the Among Us topic because I was just talking about it. But I remember after the pandemic had just started, I hadn't heard of Among Us at all until my best friend brought it up. He asked me if I wanted to play it. I think we had like a small group that we formed that day, and the laptop I had at the time was very, very crappy, and I tried to play it. And I'll never forget this because this was the first ever game I played of Among Us, and I got kicked from the server, and the game just ends, and my friend's like, Sarah, you were the imposter. The game ended as soon as you disconnected. I'm like, well, I didn't know. I had no idea what I was doing, so, it was kind of funny to hear from my friend that I got I got disconnected as the imposter on my first ever game. I'm never gonna get over that. Ever. Her internet friends, and I got super heated. Like, typically I don't get game rage, if that's the term, but I got so frustrated that night that I played with them, and I ended up, I think as I was getting voted out, I called them all assholes. And I really felt bad about it afterward, and I still overthink it to this day, but, I can't really take it back, and I don't want to overthink it. So the best thing I could do is just not do that anymore, because I felt like that was borderline toxic. At least if they don't hear me. Because there have been other times I've played when it's just, family and I or stuff like that. And we're all raging because we get such crappy people in our lobbies, and it's just frustrating because their reasoning is just dog water or whatever. And I don't get people. I know it's a kids game, and chances are that a majority of those people are kids, but to an extent it gets kind of frustrating because even when people say multiple times and they explain, it goes right over their head. And that's something that I struggle with. I don't know why it's so hard for them to process, but that feels super hypocritical of me to say because I have such a hard time picking up on cues and understanding things the first time, even the second or third time. But that's besides the point. And when was it? The last time I played with a group, I was in a server with a bunch of other people. There was actually a ton of people. It was for a YouTuber that I've been supporting a lot recently, and I got into a lobby with some of them, and I can't remember what game it was, but I did get imposter with someone else, And I was just I was like, abort, abort the entire time, because they would actually be able to hear me talk. And I didn't know how easy it would be for everyone to pick up on me lying or not, because, fun fact, I am so bad at lying. You can just see it on my face, you can hear it in my voice sometimes, I think. So I have to kind of act or fake it to an extent. And I ended up winning that game because I was just trying to act kind of clueless, and I didn't overreact in a sense. I know that they do play a lot on that server for Among Us, but a lot of the time the timing is just very poor. It's like 9 o'clock at night, on work nights for me, and depending on how tired I am, I just don't know if I can play, if I can just sit there and play several games from 9 o'clock on when I need to be up at like 5:30 in the morning. I have like the sleep schedule of a grandma, I swear. I wish I had more energy though. I am 95% sure that the reason why I get so exhausted like that is because of my anemia. I lack iron, so it just makes you more tired. You have headaches more. Just, there's a bunch of different stuff that happens when you have that sort of condition. That's another reason why I've had such a hard time with streaming too. Because I don't want to sit there and wear myself out anymore, just sitting there playing or struggling to figure out what I'm going to talk about. I thought there was something else I was going to add to that, but there isn't. Typical Sarah, just spacing out and not knowing what to say after that. Go figure. It's typical. But what I was gonna say, going back to what I was gonna try to get into earlier, before I got distracted again, was I was watching, a VOD back. Granted, I don't know why I went back and watched this VOD specifically, even though I had just finished watching it yesterday. But I went back and rewatched the entire thing anyway because it was entertaining. And basically what it was is a YouTuber was playing Danganronpa Blowback. Granted, it was canceled. It has been canceled. And I'm not 100% sure why. I believe I've seen it floating around why it was canceled, but I feel like if I confidently say why, I'm just gonna end up being wrong. Cause I don't believe I was really into Danganronpa when that game even was being released anyway. So it's hard to have any sort of input on it. But I was watching it for chapter 1 of that game, even though there's only 2 chapters. And I feel like those sort of fan games just they're kind of like gems. I guess that's what I'm gonna say, because that's how it feels with DRA. It just feels like a very gem-like thing in it for like fan games. There's probably others. I think Antebellum I would consider another one because they're not like the typical how do I explain it? Formula, maybe? Because they're RPG Maker games. Even video series step outside the box, like Despair Time. That's the only one I can think of, because I don't watch many other video series at the moment. At least, I don't know any others. I have been live for over 40 minutes now, and that in itself is impressive, because for the most part, I've just been talking to myself. Sadly, I'm used to that, though. I used to talk to myself on the way to school when I was in middle school, because I had to walk there by myself a majority of the time. I was kind of like the ugly duckling in a sense, the quote unquote loner, sort of alienated in a sense. So I was by myself walking home or getting home for the most part, at least until my sister started attending the school as well. And I talk to myself even to this day in my own bedroom, and play around with what I can do with my voice, and that sounds really weird, but it made a lot more sense in my head before I said it. I've gotten such weird looks from my family, though. They've heard me talk to myself sometimes, and they've walked into the room sometimes, or even waited for me to finish talking, and I go, like, and I leave my room or something, or they even interrupt, and they're like, who were you talking to? They think I'm crazy anytime I do that. And I do it for the most part because I want to talk to people, but I don't have anyone to talk about it with without feeling like I would annoy them, so I just talk to myself because I'm amusing myself. I don't know why I find that so funny. To a degree, it's kind of sad. I don't know if there actually is a serious problem with that, to be fair, but I really don't think that there is. It could just be me being an overthinker, a big time overthinker. What else could I talk about? I have a figurine. It's like a vinyl figurine thing. I pre-ordered it, and it took so long for it to come in. It was a vinyl figure, what's it called? I don't remember the name of the website. I'm blanking on it right now. But it was for a YouTuber, and I ended up getting two of them. One of them I got from my sister as an early birthday present at the time, but it ended up coming in months after her birthday. So it ended up becoming a late one in a sense. And I have mine. Actually, it's pretty much above my monitor, actually. And I kind of value it because that particular YouTuber, he's not like a typical one. I feel like he's kind of like an oddball, but I like that. It's very entertaining. His content has always been very entertaining. And sometimes I kind of meme on him, but not in a negative sense. I tell people to go subscribe to him at the most random of times, and they're like, oh, who is that? I'm like, oh, yeah, he's just an Irish YouTuber. Go watch him. I think there's been one or two people that I've chatted with where I found out that they actually know this guy, and I've just had I don't want to say they were freak out moments because it wasn't that bad, but I was excited. And I'm pretty sure another person I talked with a while ago, I know that she's been pretty busy with IRL things, especially with her health, the past several months, but when I was talking to her about this YouTuber before, I'm pretty sure it was her. She said that she received a signed piece of merch or something like that from this YouTuber, from like a friend or something like that. And I'm like, that is so freaking lucky. I wish I had that sort of thing happen, but maybe someday it will happen. There's no use in getting too bummed about it, but it's interesting that I met someone who had such an interesting story about that. I want to go write my script too. Such random things I'm talking about. I want to try to start writing my script for Death Camp, which I do have that account in like a category on this channel. Granted, there isn't really much on that channel right now because I got so indecisive before with what to do with that particular project. Even now, I want to make it an actual playable game, but I know it's not realistic right now, so I'm gonna stick to the video series thing unless someone is willing to help, and if there is someone, I will most certainly make sure that they get something out of it, because I feel like that's such a lot of work. Even with the people I already have helping out, I've paid them, if I have the means, and even with people that I wasn't planning on doing it with before, I've made it clear that that's what I want to do going forward. And those people have been very kind enough to stick with me, and I'm very, very, very appreciative of that. They're very cool people, very chill. Granted, there are some roles that need to be filled, but I don't plan on getting those filled anytime soon, because they're, VA roles that, I feel like I shouldn't rush into getting those ones at the moment. I feel like the most important ones right now would be, getting proofreaders and other writers to work with, background artists. I'm still waiting for reference sheets to be finished. And I do have a sprite artist, and as of now, this sprite artist, they've said that they don't believe that they'll need any help as of now, but I did tell them to let me know if they want, like, other artists working with them on the sprites. And that offer will stand because I get so guilty sometimes and I just don't want to put so much onto a single person. So I just like to put things out like that anyway. And I did try to teach myself how to program an RPG Maker, and it's such a complicated process. I feel like it's gonna be forever for me to figure out what the heck I'm doing. And considering my learning style, even with watching videos on YouTube on figuring out what to do, I'm gonna just be so lost and I'm gonna look so stupid. I'm just super excited. I already know pretty much the overall story and like the big events, but there's just minor things that need to be filled in here and there. And I feel like there might be things that could be considered plot holes that I also need to kind of get filled in. But I'm very proud of how my progress has turned out. There have been many things that I've changed, especially with the design of the cast. And in the Discord server right now, I have a brand new server for it. I do plan on sending anything that was beta for people to see, because I don't believe I've shown them to really anyone. I know that maybe like some IRL people have seen it if they've watched me draw it, but I don't actually think anybody has seen it elsewhere. And I think looking at beta designs can be very interesting in a sense, because it kind of gives you an idea on what they would have been like, or what the general idea for them was at first, and basically what leads to them getting certain changes afterward. I had a hard time letting go of old designs, but I got so paranoid and self-conscious of how the designs looked, so I just completely redesigned the entire cast to some sort of extent. I'm trying to think of which one I redesigned the most. I would say it was Orichi. He's the ultimate coroner. I know in his very first design or designs, he had like this, he had a little goatee going with a man bun and a tux and stuff like that. But I ended up changing that. He does have like some sort of ponytail, but it's not really much of a man bun anymore. What else? He has like this strip of, I think it's like grayish white in his bangs for his hair, and it is natural. What else? His clothing also is pretty revamped as well, because he has like a lab coat now and whatnot, and on like certain aspects in his design hints at his talent as well, with like the tie and with like patches that are on like the pocket of the coat and whatnot. I don't think that I can think of any other character that I might have changed that much. It's hard to imagine what I'm talking about either, so hopefully I've been talking so much I can't talk. I like laughing at myself just to ease the pain. I'm on massive brain rot for my project though. And now that I have others getting so excited over it, just makes me more confident. I hope it won't come off as arrogance or cockiness either, because I don't want to be perceived like that. I don't like people who are that, arrogant, I guess. Because it's like their head's in the cloud. They don't know what they're doing. Because they're so focused and fixated on themselves that they don't want to listen to others, and they're just gonna kind of twist things to fit their own narrative and make them seem like they're this awesome, great person, when in reality they're not as great as they want to make it seem. It doesn't come off as arrogant, don't worry. Hi, Gob! I didn't know anybody else was here when I was talking about the arrogance. I'm such a big overthinker, and I go on tangents when I overthink. But it's good to know that there's someone here listening to me ramble on and on about random things. If there is anyone else here, I hope that you're enjoying me ramble on about Danganronpa, Pokemon, random things about my stuffed animals. I amuse myself way too much at times. I know that I do want to plan to do games with other people too. I really do want to do that type of stuff. I just like interacting with people, even though it's a struggle, and I'm terrible at interaction, but I'm getting better. At least I would like to think I'm getting better. I'm just gonna put myself out there as much as I can, and if I need to take a step back, I guess that's what I gotta do. But right now, I'm feeling okay. At least I do have a way to let it out, kind of like an outlet. Recently got a journal, and I told one of my good friends, Vin, about it, and she's the one that actually gave me the idea, so I'm happy about that. Even told her about it, and I read the first entry or two to her very vaguely, gave away some very few things from that. I don't know how the conversation went to that, and I'm just talking to myself, too. And honestly, I don't even know who else is in here. I know that Gob said something not too long ago, but I don't know if anyone else is currently here. I really wish I did have another monitor for that, though. Alright, I think there are a few people in here. Well, that's okay. That's good. Sometimes I feel like I'm annoying as well, but I'm trying, I'm doing my best. What else do I want to do? Or talk about? If anyone has anything they want to just throw out there, then feel free to. I don't want anyone to feel like they shouldn't talk because I'm just rambling on and on. Because I'm actually starting to struggle a little bit here, so you don't gotta worry about me. So if anyone has anything they want to say, feel free to. I don't bite. At least I hope people don't think I bite. What's that? Oh, okay. Current favorite Danganronpa fan projects. That's a good question. If I think about which ones are currently going, and it can be anything. Let's see. I know I mentioned Despair Time. That one is definitely my favorite 100% at this time. I know as of late, there's been a lot of controversy with that one. Mainly because of, like, the creator, and honestly, that stuff's, like, a load of BS, so I'm not even gonna bring that up. There were a few other things, too, but honestly, I don't think it's anything that's that big of a deal. I don't even find it problematic. What else? I like Antebellum at the moment as well. Really, really, really good project. And then there's DRA. DRA is another one that I kind of hold close to me as well, even though I've never actually played it, but I have seen it, and I've, just reading it and hearing about what happens and, like, the relationships and whatnot between the characters and dynamics, it hurt me. It hurt so much. When did I know that I cried watching one Fangan a while ago, and I don't remember which one it was now. I'd have to really think about it, but, another one, and this one's, strictly on Instagram right now. I don't know if there's ever any plans for it to be anywhere else, but, All or Nothing. And yes, that does sound a little bit biased because of certain things, but I really like that project. The creator is very, very cool. And there's someone I'm pretty acquainted with, so yeah, I gotta show support to them, you know? Well, I guess I shouldn't beat around the bush, but I really should get into more fan projects. The only one I've really seen that's 100% original is Eden's Garden. That's a good point. I can understand that. Now that I think about it, I feel like not many projects really stray away all that much. I think that there might be good examples with that, like Despair Time and, what's it called? Antebellum. They both have, like, their own... I feel like both of the formulas for those are very different. At least in my opinion, it seems pretty different. There might have been some on Instagram too, but honestly, I haven't been keeping up that much with many of the ones on Instagram, so it's hard to say. But the only one I've been keeping up with a ton is All or Nothing, but that's because I'm gonna just label myself as being biased, because I'm actually, I'm one of the voice actors on that project. That's the project I was referring to earlier about getting lines in and whatnot. Honestly, it's not even that hard either, but I still gotta get it in. I would hope that Kokeshi isn't here listening to me just ramble on and on about this. I doubt it, but it would be funny. I really did want to play DRA on my own too, even though I've already watched it, but sometimes the experience with oneself is way better than just watching someone. It depends on the person, and it kind of depends on the mood too, I guess. And now that I think about it, with my own fan project, it was pretty connected to canon for the longest time, but I'm trying my best to stray away from the canon as much as possible. As of now, because I feel like I want to do things with the story that wouldn't work with what's already canon, so that's one reason why I'm trying to stray away from it. And it's probably going to be good for me to do that as well. Now that I think about it, there's one really big spoiler thing with the story that I just remembered, and it does really reflect on canon, so that's something I need to rework. But I'm excited for it to get to that point of the story, though. It gets brutal, just thinking about it. Cause even though I already know what happens, I'm already very attached to my cast, and that's one thing you never do. Never get attached to your cast, never, and don't get biased either. And I'm very biased. Um, I don't know why I get so biased towards my characters at times. Maybe it just depends on like my mood or how much I've had written for them in detail. um I was just gonna start rambling on and on about my characters from Death Camp, but now that just sounds stupid. I just love them, okay? The first character I ever created for Danganronpa, and this character wasn't even really planned to be for its own project. It was just like a character I threw in with canon, and then there was a second one I threw in with canon, but then I completely scratched all of that, and I ended up putting them all into their own little storyline. And that's how that came to be. But that first character I created was the one that was in canon was actually Sheikah, and that name obviously won't ring a bell, but she is the character I chose to be the protag. And it really does fit her character, and I feel like she probably is logically the best character to have for the protag for many reasons that I will not say, but am I busy? I wouldn't say that after stream? No. It is 9:30, so I really should end in a bit. But if you have something you need to message me about or whatever, just go ahead, let me know. I don't know how much longer I will be awake after stream, but I'm willing to spare a little bit of time if I can do that for you. Now that I think about it, hold on. How do I do this? Can I? Okay, no, I can't do that. Alright, hold on. While you're here... I don't know what any of this means. Okay, you know what? I'll figure that out later. Forget it. Alright, so what I was... You know what? I'll tell you after the stream sparks, but, I'll get that figured out after. I don't even know who else is here, but, hold on. Yeah, there still are a few people here. Okay. If anyone has anything else to say before I do wrap up, then let me know. I will schedule another one of these, and I will have something figured out other than just having the same screen on while I just blab my mouth, you know? So I'll just give anyone about a minute or so to put anything out there that they want. I have such a hard time staying quiet because I feel like I have to be talking, but actually, while I wait for that, I think what I'm gonna do is try to figure out let's see. It's weird that I'm searching this up while I'm streaming, but I'm curious. I don't know what I'm doing. Hmm. Will the stream remain up on YouTube after it's finished for those who didn't have the chance to watch it or missed the first bit? I do want to keep it up, but you know what? I'll do it because part of me feels like no one's going to want to go back and watch the same screen on over and over again, but you do have a good point with that people might want to, you know, come back and listen to this, me rambling on and on, fall asleep to it even because it's just so boring, but yeah, I can certainly leave it up. I'll have to make a playlist because chances are this won't be the first time I do random little chatting streams like this. They expect me to understand what any of this means. That wasn't what I was asking. Ah! Alright, let me try. Is this the same thing? Lovely, okay. I'm just overthinking everything. I don't want to get frustrated over this, so I will figure it out after. And I'll try to put something in place for the next stream because I don't want to get myself worked up over something so silly. And there are friends of mine that most definitely should know how to do it. So I think in about a minute I will wrap up. If anyone has anything to put in again before I go, okay, it does seem like everything's all set here then. And that's all good. I can plan another time to do this too. I didn't outwardly say this because I didn't know if I would necessarily get in trouble for this, but this was technically supposed to be a celebratory thing for reaching 1,500 and 100 subscribers for both Instagram and YouTube for Extreme Danganronpa. Not many people did show up, and I'm not mad about it, really. This was, just something I wanted to put out there for anyone. It didn't just have to be for them. But that's just about it for now. For everyone that did show up or is even gonna go back and watch this after the fact, thank you so much for listening to me ramble on and on about probably very dumb things for 90% of it. And I hope to do this again sometime. So catch you all later. Goodbye, everyone.